Hi, I'm Rob Gullickson, and welcome to another episode of On the Road. On this show, we pride ourselves on bringing you local restaurants, shops, and all sorts of happenings in Whitman, Hanson, and the whole of Greater Boston. Today, we're bringing you to two new locales in downtown Whitman, Alibi Tavern and Martinis Patio. You might recognize these two restaurants as the former home of McGuiggan's, which was a huge community staple for many years. But with its retirement, two new owners have stepped up and brought it new life. So we're gonna head inside, try some food, try some drinks, find out what's changed, and maybe what stayed the same. That's today on OTR. All right, so we have made our way inside of Alibi Tavern. As you can see, it is pretty busy behind me, but we're not gonna worry about that. We are joined by Dawn, who's the owner.
Yes.
How you doing, Dawn?
Good, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
So give us a little bit of an overview of the Alibi Tavern.
The Alibi Tavern is basically a lot of fresh foods that we serve every day. We cook a lot of things in-house, like we roast our turkeys, we cook our corned beefs and everything, and we get our seafood very fresh each week. So if it's not on the menu, then that means we didn't get it in or we sold out of it. So it's been pretty good, and the people here are lovely at Whitman, so
Of course,
I really love it.
Whitman's a pretty tight-knit community, so it's really cool to see the people kind of rallying together to support this new business.
Exactly. They always supported us. It was great. From the beginning, we've loved it.
That's really good to hear.
And I have a great crew that comes, my cooks, my chefs, my bartenders, my wait staff, they're excellent.
Now, is it true that a lot of the crew that you have at Alibi came from McGuiggan's?
Yes, everybody stayed the same. We brought in a few extra, or I brought in a few extra people, but just some people that I've worked with along the way that, know how I like to run a business, and so it's been good.
Yeah, just kind of boost up the people that are already here.
Yes.
So I'd actually like to talk a little bit more about that, talk about your history in the restaurant business. What led you to opening up Alibi?
Well, I've always been a bartender. I've always been in the restaurant business, and I did manage a bar before, so it was always something I've always wanted to do, is have my own. And it's kind of like my end game. So this is, this will be my retirement.
Of course. I mean, you've built a really nice establishment.
Yes,
just looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
Was there any sort of expectation with filling in such like a community staple with a new sort of vibe? Is that something you were kind of concerned with?
No, not really. I believe that, with our Whitman colors, which were black and red, so we put a lot of fun into the walls. We make some TVs to do some sporting events, and, so I think everyone enjoyed what we did to it as far as, we brightened it up, McGuiggan's was great, but in the, everybody likes change.
Nevertheless, a restaurant like Alibi certainly has big shoes to fill. McGuiggan's Pub opened its doors in 2009 with Richard Rosen at the helm. As a realtor, running a restaurant was a definite change of pace.
It was something that over the years I had thought about doing, and thought that there was a need for something like this in Whitman. And this building presented itself to me, and after looking at it, came to the determination that it might work, and then a lot of research started, and the rest, as they say, is history.
And he was right. The restaurant was an instant success, and over the coming years, McGuiggan's became a staple to the center of Whitman. The level of care that went into putting everything together paid off dividends.
Everything in this building was meticulously planned. I mean, right down to the silverware and the glasses. A lot of planning went into the bar. The company came up here 3 times. A lot of measurements. Yep. There was a lot of research and a lot of planning that went in to make McGuiggan's what it is today.
When Richard sold the restaurant, there was a cautious optimism that the new restaurant would fill in the void. And while McGuiggan's wore Irish heritage on its sleeve, Alibi shakes things up with a new kind of atmosphere.
I mean, like I said, the theming is great, because
Yeah.
I actually do want to talk about what inspired it, because when I hear Alibi Tavern and I see the branding on the wall, I immediately thought of like a speakeasy. And this is definitely not what I had in mind. So I wonder what you were kind of thinking about when the theme was being thought of.
In the beginning, it was supposed to be like a secret. I wasn't, telling anyone what I was doing, so I just kept it like, everybody needs an alibi, kept it like hush-hush. So it really wasn't anything behind it, but, it's been good. The menu's great. I had help with that with a dear friend, so it was good.
And we can actually get right into talking about the menu right now. Perfect segue. So what are the types of food that you offer at Alibi?
So we offer, everything's fresh, like I said, but we offer like smash burgers, we offer, turkey paninis, chicken paninis. We also have flatbread pizzas, which are amazing, which we're gonna make for you guys as well. And all our seafood, like I said, comes in fresh daily, so it's been good. A lot of comfortable food, nothing,
Absolutely.
And then it's inexpensive, and we get a lot of our stuff local, like our desserts are homemade from J&J Homestead over in Bridgewater, so it's great.
Nice.
So.
And is there a certain rotation of items, or do you have like a staple menu that you can always kind of fall back on?
We have a basic menu, and then we have daily specials. We put our dinner more so like our steak tips, our chicken parm that's on today. Those are like more of our dinners, and then we have the sandwiches. Our chicken wings are fresh, so nothing's frozen, so it's good.
Really good. And as a tavern,
Yes.
you got to have a good selection of bar service. So
Oh,
You
yes.
want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, we have great draft beers. We have a whole bunch of bottled beers that people love, and we have one of the best bartenders in there. So it's all of our bartenders are great. They make great drinks. We should try some out.
Of course. Well, we will. You talked about how the community has really embraced you guys, and that
Yes.
is awesome to hear. Do you have any sort of special events that happen here that kind of bring more people in?
So we did the St. Patty's Day when we had this Irish step dances, and like you said, this isn't the Irish bar anymore, but that was fun. Like I was like, this is a great. Hopefully they would come back again. It was like one of the schools, and they all asked if we would do it, and I was like, absolutely, and it was a good time. We also do a rock and roll bingo every Wednesday nights. It starts at 6:30. People seem to enjoy that. You get free, like you win an appetizer or a gift card, and they enjoy that as well. And then we have live music every once in a while. Not every weekend, but like this Friday we'll have Ken Snow, so it'll be fun. Yeah.
I'd be interested to see live music in such like a small kind of...
So we have it over in the corner, so it's not too bad. It's usually like one or two, We're not having like this huge band,
This feels like the perfect place to have like, an acoustic set.
Yes,
just
exactly.
Get a guitar, maybe like a cajon, and then just kind of fill in the atmosphere.
Perfect. Do you play?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of St. Patrick's Day,
Yes.
I understand. So I never actually got to come to McGuiggan's before they closed, but I've been told that they used to have these steins that were in the shape of a boot.
Yes.
Do you guys still have
We
those?
do not have those.
Man.
I do not have that. I think they were like a 30-ouncer or something. I don't know.
Yeah, from what I've been told, they're like a huge thing.
Oh, I've never seen them. So he must have taken them with him.
Probably. I mean, they're probably really valuable, so that makes
Either
a
that
lot
or
of
they
sense.
just got lost along the way, and people take them anyway. So
Fair
you
enough.
know.
Yeah, so we are actually coming upon the end of our time right now.
Okay.
Do you want to say anything in closing?
I would like to just say, come and try out the Alibi Tavern if you haven't tried it, or just keep coming back if you like it. Come on in.
All right, sounds good. So thank you so much, Dawn, for being
Thank
on
you.
the show.
Thank you very
And
much.
We have a little bit more to show you. We're going to have some food served directly to us, and we're going to head behind the bar and make some specialty drinks. So
Perfect.
stay tuned.
All this talk of their menu, and I was ready to give it a try. The bar was fully packed for midday, so we put in our drink order with Ashley at the bar, and she got to mixing. Introducing the End Game, a fitting name for a dessert drink. With the final pour, I knew I was in for a treat.
So we have here the End Game from Alibi Tavern. It's got vanilla vodka, amaretto, Bailey's, and chocolate liqueur. Sounds like it's going to be a delicious midday treat. Oh yeah. Anything where they swirl something around the glass, you know it's going to be good.
As you can tell, this one was bound to be a hit with the whole crew.
That's good.
But we're not done yet. Alibi has a few specialty mocktails as well, for flavor without the buzz.
Fill the shaker of ice, some strawberry puree, a dash of lime, a dash of simple, some of the margarita mix, not too much, you don't want it too sweet, hard shake.
And when it comes to non-alcoholic drinks, the Mama's Rita, a tequila-free margarita, is a choice one.
So we have here a variation on the Mama Rita, which is one of Alibi's non-alcoholic drinks. It's good to have a few of those. Ooh, oh, that's nice. It's tart. It's got strawberry puree, a little bit of simple syrup, topping off with some Sierra Mist, and a little salt rim. I'm not a huge fan of margaritas by themselves, so this is a very welcome addition.
While I was busy sipping on fancy drinks, the kitchen was busy prepping some food for us. And what a nice surprise this was!
So lunch is served. Now we've got a bit of a smorgasbord right now. This is definitely more than I was expecting, but you're not going to hear me complaining. On this show, this is what it's all about. So Dawn, tell me a little bit about what we have here.
So right here we have one of our flatbreads, which is the margarita flatbread, which is all fresh tomatoes, marinara sauce, fresh mozzarella, and a little bit of basil on top of that. It's delicious, cooked to perfection. Right here we have one of our tacos, which we always have a variety of tacos every day. So this one is the fried shrimp tacos, which comes with a key lime sriracha, which we make in-house. And we also have a little bit of cilantro and a cabbage slaw on top with that. And our famous smash burgers. This is a double smash burger. Double smash burger comes with lettuce, tomato, and pickle and onion. If your choice of cheese, if you'd like cheese with it. And these are our homemade cut thin onion rings that people rave about. Those are probably one of our famous outrageous onion rings. So you gotta give it a try.
All right, yeah, I don't know what else can be said.
You know, and you get the best drinks here, so
yes.
you know.
Looks absolutely delicious.
Enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
again.
Dawn.
And a shout out to my chefs. They're great. My staff's wonderful.
And now, let's eat.
First up on the docket, we've got the margarita flatbread. Let's give it a try. I mean, you really can't go wrong with something like this. Like Dawn said, this is just comfort food, and it's really, really good. And for our second course, we have a very sizable looking shrimp taco, so let's take a bite. I mean, that combination of flavors is just so good. The shrimp, the slaw, the sauce, you really can't go wrong. And finally, we come to their famous smash burger. Now, smash burgers can be a little bit controversial, at least compared to regular burgers, so I'm very interested to see how this one compares, so let's cut it open and see what's inside. Whoa, look at that. Now I can see why this one's famous. This is awesome. So that was Alibi Tavern, located right in downtown Whitman. We had a really good time here, but we are not done yet. We're gonna go right down the street and check out Martini's Pub and Patio. Stay tuned, you're watching On the Road.
Coming up, we make a move to Martini's and try the Patio's provisions.
Did you know you can get seen on TV? Introducing one-off series programs, and getting involved is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Choose a one-off show that fits your interests. Sign up as a WHCA volunteer and start creating. Ready to be the next community star? Visit WHCA.tv to learn more.
And so, our Whitman restaurant crawl continues. We've come right next door to Alibi Tavern to what used to be the second half of McGuiggan's, which is now Martini's Bar and Patio. People might be familiar with Martini's in Plymouth, and it is the same owner and they've expanded into Whitman. So let's head on in and see what they have to offer. So we have made our way inside Martini's Bar and Patio. I am very excited to check this place out, and I am joined by one of the managers, Linus. How you doing, Linus?
Great, nice to meet you.
You as well. So, give me a little bit of an overview about Martini's Bar and Patio.
Okay. Well, it's owned by Joe Perrette, who has owned and operated restaurants for 40 years. He currently owns Martini's Bar and Grill in Plymouth. It's been operating for 15 years, very successful, sort of a mainstay in Plymouth. And we opened here basically Halloween. And so it's been 7 months, steady build, steady climb. The community and the surrounding communities have really accepted it. And we are busy. Things are great.
For sure, yeah. How busy have things gotten so far? I know you mentioned Halloween. Did you get like a big Halloween weekend crowd when you guys opened?
That's a great question. Actually, there's something in town called the Witches Walk every year. And it's the Mothers Club of Whitman. And it's upwards of 300 women every year. They pay dues to do the walk, and it's a pub crawl, and it's for charity. It was going to be our first night, so we had a friends and family soft opening that night, so we didn't have to deal with the Halloween one way or the other. But we hit the ground running the next day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's something you do have to kind of lean into, I imagine. Like, you don't want to immediately get swamped right when you're opening.
Yeah, it's a fun event. It raises a lot of money, but it's a lot. We're gonna nail it next year. But
nice. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So you're actually one of the managers at McGuiggan's, the patio at McGuiggan's, I mean. So do you want to talk about the kind of transition between working at McGuiggan's versus working here?
Sure. Well, I was fortunate to start with the previous owner, Richard, back in 2009 at McGuiggan's. And then in 2019, when he opened this building, the patio at McGuiggan's. And it was great for the community because there really wasn't much down here back then. But now with the two restaurants running for that long, it gives the local people someplace to go. And Martini's has just built on that.
And what a strong foundation Martini's is built upon. The building itself is a unique addition to the center of town. Richard Rosen had transformed what used to be a parking lot into a huge open-air space that leans into its namesake as a patio. It can be hard to resist an atmosphere like this, especially during the warm summer months. You come to a restaurant like this for the vibes, but you stay for the food.
Everything's from scratch, top quality steaks and seafood, nothing frozen. Everything, all the sauces, homemade, in-house. And I think the food and the quality is the most important thing. So we've kind of stepped it up a notch in terms of, I think what Joe, the owner, calls this is a casual upscale. So it's a very comfortable environment. People coming straight out of work, people dressed up, people in t-shirts, but the food and the drinks and the service are top shelf.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, just looking at the place already, I like how open it is. Like even these massive windows that are just off camera, like they fully open, it becomes kind of like an open air restaurant, kind of like what you see at Sully's Castle Island or something.
Exactly.
So in terms of the food and the theming, what kinds of elements from McGuiggan's were you guys determined to keep in place versus the ones that you were looking to shake up a little?
Well, I think, just speaking for the owner, but I think he has run Martini's in Plymouth for 15 years. And as I say, it's very successful. So he essentially matched that menu and the elaborate martini list. I mean, we can make any drink anybody wants, but he has 30, 35 specialty martinis on the menu. And that's really a driving force. Food-wise, as I say, steaks, chops, pasta dishes, we have lighter fare, we have everything that any pub would offer. It's just better. The service, again, we work as a team. It sounds cliche, but this place really gets hopping. And it's just gratifying when the customers come up to me at the end, night after night, saying, this was fantastic. The food, the service, the atmosphere, can't wait to come back. And that's what makes being in this business fun, because it's not an easy business sometimes.
How do you guys structure your menu in terms of like, is it like a rotating specialist, or do you have like some standard items that are always on there?
Yeah, we have a large menu which offers a number of salads, lighter fare, sandwiches, appetizers, steaks, a lot of pasta dishes. That'll keep you going for the summer if you want to keep coming back. But we do offer 3 or 4 specials every night, and special desserts as well.
Nice. Are there any specials on the menu right now that have proven to be particularly popular?
Anything with scallops seems to work
Of course,
in this
yeah.
town.
So I was wondering too, from the manager's perspective, what goes into running an establishment like this? Is there like a day-to-day sort of routine that you fall into, or do you feel like you're adapting to a million different factors at any given time?
Yeah, well, this sounds like a cliche, but it really does take a management team, and it all comes down from Joe, the owner. As I say, he has honed this over a 40-year period of time with different style restaurants, but this style for 15 years in Plymouth, we just follow his lead. And we make sure that the bartenders are trained, because those martinis are tricky, and the servers, they really have to be top quality. It's a little bit higher level of service than you get in some restaurants, but because he's got this down to a science as much as you can, keeps the prices low. We want to have people coming back and back. We don't want it to be a special occasion restaurant. 2-3 times a week, come on in.
There you go, yeah. I mean, we are going to get into all of that pretty soon. We'll be checking out some of like your specials and of course getting a martini, but you know, anything you want to say in closing, Linus?
No, I appreciate you coming down. It's been a fun 7 months, and we're really part of the community.
And that's really, really good to hear. So Linus, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Great talking to you.
And let's take a peek behind the kitchen. You're watching On the Road.
After all this chit-chat about martinis, it's time to find out for myself what everyone is raving about, starting with their martinis.
And now we are, of course, behind the bar at Martinis, and I'm joined by Tracy, who is going to be our bartender for the day. How you doing, Tracy?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. So how long have you been in the bartending business?
I have been doing bartending on and off for about 15 years.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
And so we are going to make, you know, your namesake, martinis.
All right.
So I'd like to know, before we get into it, what goes into a good martini?
We have to have premium quality spirits. We want to have the right amount so that you're not overpowered with anything too sweet, because we're going to sweeten them up with the spirit. So it's all about balance of flavors. You want to give it a good hard shake.
Nice.
So it's nice and cold. Yeah.
Linus was not kidding about the extensive martini menu. With over 20 specialty martinis, it can be tough to choose, but there was at least one that catered to my personal taste.
So I was looking at the menu and I was interested in the pear-tini,
Pear-tini.
because I'm a big fan of like pear juice and all that. So
All right,
I'm
that's
interested to see what goes into that.
All right, absolutely.
And so, Tracy showed us how they make their pear martini, aptly named Perfect.
Okay, so we do make our own hand freshly squeezed lemon and lime sour mix, which brings any drink up a level. So we're gonna get a little splash of that. And we do our absolute pears. Have some St. elderflower. And then we pour that right into the glass there.
Beautiful.
Stop right about there. All right, enjoy.
Nice.
We garnish with a lime. I don't have any. But
Well, just imagine that there's a lime
there's
in
a
this.
lime in
and
there,
we
yeah.
go. Very nice. And of course, because I have to say it, I like my martinis shaken, not stirred.
Right.
Corny references aside, the Perfect is delicious. It was so good, even the camera guy had to try it.
That's good.
You like it?
Yeah, like you were saying about the balance of the flavors. Like,
Yes.
I think the sour mix adds a lot to it.
It
like,
does, yeah. Kicks it
It's
up.
it's yeah, gives
does.
gives a little punch.
Yes. Nice and refreshing.
So next up on the docket is a drink that I actually could see myself ordering when I go to a bar, because you know I'm always a fan of like the fruitier drinks
Yep.
and all that. So tell me about what we're making next.
We're gonna make a blonde-haired blue-eyed, which is a layered martini. So we have some Malibu rum, we have some peach schnapps, we have some raspberry vodka, pineapple juice, and then I'm going to do a little drizzle of blue carousel. It's going to make it nice, like a blue eye at the bottom of the glass.
Nice. And these things are gonna like layer on top of each other, right?
We'll go build it into the glass first, and then I just drizzle down the blue. It goes right down the bottom.
Okay,
It's
okay.
really nice. Delicious.
Take it away. Let's see it.
All right. So just some peach schnapps, some Malibu. It's a nice summer drink. Okay, I'm gonna give that nice little pineapple juice. Good hard shake. Pour that in. Stick it there. And for the finishing touch, a little bit of
Nice.
blue eye at the bottom.
Yeah, it's like a nice twist on like a blue Hawaiian.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it's always cool to get like these different colors in your drinks
Yes,
too.
absolutely.
So I'll take a sip of this one. Oh yeah, that's a classic.
It's a good one, huh?
That is absolutely delicious. That is dangerous to have.
It's a great summer drink.
It's dangerous in my hands, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, we've got some really fantastic tasting drinks here. So thank you so much for showing us what goes into some of your popular martinis.
Yes.
You know, and this is some of what you can get.
My pleasure.
But as is often the case on this show, we aren't done yet. Let's see what's cooking in the kitchen.
All right, we're gonna do a scallop and shrimp carbonara here. Get the pan real nice and hot. We don't want to move the stuff around, let it just kind of hang out for a little bit.
I'm always in a seafood mood at this time of year, so they're preparing a specialty that's sure to cater to my craving. Their carbonara is loaded up with scallops and shrimp, bacon, and some mixed vegetables.
I'm gonna hit it with a little garlic. Let that get golden.
And it's finished with a garlic Parmesan cream sauce. It's all the major food groups in one.
A little white wine.
And like any good meal in the kitchen, it gets a little fired up.
I'm gonna do our little crumbled bacon. Some tomatoes.
Watching it all come together makes the food that much more satisfying. The end result is something rich, decadent, and that really feels like elevated comfort food. Like Linus said, this is what casual upscale is all about. So, let's watch as this dish comes to life.
Hit it with a little Parmesan. Finally, we have our peep pods, some color.
That makes it healthy for you, right?
Yeah, right. Half order of pasta, to make it more healthy. And there we go. Scallop and shrimp carbonara.
So we have here a couple servings of the shrimp and scallop carbonara served at Martini's Bar and Patio. It is piping hot, made fresh for us. So let's take a bite. Gotta get a little bit of everything in there. A little bit of scallop, let's get a little bit of shrimp on there. I'm one of those guys that likes to have a little bit of everything in every bite. Ooh. Cheers. I'm a big seafood guy, and this hits the mark. This is absolutely delicious. And so this concludes yet another episode of On the Road. A big thank you to Alibi Tavern and Martinis for having us on, and thank you for tuning in today. And if you're concerned about the food that we had today going to waste, don't worry, I've got it all right here. If you have a business that you'd like to have featured on our show, you can let us know at info@WHCA.tv, or you can give us a call at 781-447-4175. But until then, my name's Rob Gullickson, and we'll see you on the road.